Part 4, here we go. This is the Gray Man from LSD.
This is LSD, or LSD Dream Emulator. This is an extremely rare PS1 game released only in Japan. If you haven't heard of it, you may be wondering why this is going into creepy gaming and not an actual game review. Well, you'll find out shortly. LSD is a game based upon real-life occurrences in a sense. Apparently, the game company obtained a person's 10-year-long dream journal, a book that they wrote in each time they slept and dreamt about the things that they saw in their dreams. It has been rumored that this person was an avid LSD user. That, however, is yet to be determined, but the dream description certainly fit that of an LSD hallucinatory trip. The premise of the game is simple and without objective. You go to sleep each day and walk around in a dream world, a realm of distorted obscurity. Anything that you touch links you to a different dream, and in the manner you can dream link or traverse between multiple dream worlds. As the days go on, the dreams start to become more intense, more fucked up, if you will.
What the hell?
Textures begin to change to much more obscure shades and patterns. Each time you awaken from a dream, you are shown this, a dream map. This map shows you if your dream was more towards being an upper, positive, colorful, and happy, or a downer, dark, abysmal, and creepy, static, not a lot of hallucinations appearing around you, or linking going on, or dynamic, a lot of movement and things happening around you. While much of the time, dreams place you in colorful and cheery worlds, that isn't to say this game doesn't have an equally sick, dark side. Each dream world has a name. This one is known simply as the Violence District, a world of suicide, murder.
Is that the Gray Man I mentioned? I think I know.
Darkness. To further intensify the disturbing nature of this game, when you begin a dream, you start in what's believed to be your house. If we go to a certain floor, we find a woman lying asleep in the bed. As your dreams progress, she withers away into a skeleton. It is rumored this is yourself in the game, allowing your body to die while you self-consume yourself in an LSD-laden dream.
Wow.
In this ever-changing world, however, there is one disturbing, constant, always looming stalker who takes this game to the next level of creepiness and relates to events outside of the game. This is the Gray Man. As he is known in the game, he is a constant antagonist, always watching and always stalking, appearing when you least expect it. Unlike others in the game, he does not walk, but merely hovers towards you. If you don't escape and he catches you, he either kills you, effectively ending your dream, or he erases your memories, starting you back over to day one's progress. So, you may be wondering, how does this relate to outside of the game?
Yeah.
This is the Hat Man.
What? Oh, I can see that. Jesus, that's creepy as shit. No wonder why it was only released in Japan. I mean Japan. Up. We're screwed because of him. Because of him pointing. Yeah.
Notice the incredible similarities between the Gray Man and the Hat Man. This is because they are believed to be the same person. The Hat Man is a supposed entity that has been seen in real life. But before we go jumping to ghost stories, I'll explain.
Okay.
There are those who believe in or claim to have seen shadow people. Hat Man is a supposed reoccurring figure to almost all who witness shadow people. However, there is a much more real occurrence of the Hat Man.
Sure.
This is common over-the-counter Benadryl. It contains an ingredient known as diphenhydramine, a drug used recreationally to induce hallucinations and trips. There are those who choose to overdose on this drug, and almost all users of the drug seem to have the same story. It causes them to see the Hat Man. Every human is different in the way their imagination works. So why is it that almost all who use this drug witness this particular shadowy figure? That is for you to decide.
Next video. This is the real deaths from the game Berserk.
This is Berserk, a simple overhead shooter for the Atari 2600 in 1982. So, what makes this game so special then? Well, it was the first video game recorded in history to kill someone. The gameplay looks like this. You walk around through an endless corridor maze-like world, destroying robots and avoiding evil Otto. Harmless looking aesthetically, but a much more sinister story accompanies this game. In the month of October 1981, a young man, age 19, named Jeff Daly, was playing Berserk when he achieved a new high score within the game. Stories indicate that the score was 16,660.
Wait, those two numbers look similar.
Excited to have achieved a high score, Jeff saved the score to the leaderboard, and then he died. Yes, you heard correctly. After submitting his high score, the young man perished. Skip ahead in time. April of 1982. A friend of Jeff, in fact, Peter Burkowski, suffers the same fate after submitting two personal best scores in Freer Tuck's Game Room, an arcade in Calumet City, Illinois. As you can imagine, the internet is aflood with reasons and theories as to why these two young men died at such young ages while playing Berserk.
Go ahead.
Some speculate the game's boss, Evil Otto, did it. Some say the score, 16,660, contains the number of the beast, and that's what killed him. Many say the young men had heart complications, and the excitement of submitting the score
also
was just too much for them to handle, and their hearts stopped. Well, no matter which story is real or fake, the deaths themselves are confirmed in numerous websites as well as old magazines interviewing with the game designer. So, why did Berserk claim 2 lives?
Next video. This is Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal. It's one of the most memorable series of games that was ever released for the PlayStation. There's a story that goes along with the game, however.
Okay.
Some say hoax, some say real. I'll present and you decide. In the year of 2003, work began on the sequel to Twisted Metal Black, which was going to be known as Twisted Metal Harbor City. On March 13th, 2005, 6 important members of the team behind this game died in a fatal plane wreck coming back from a ski trip in Colorado.
Damn.
Now, skip ahead 2 years in history. The game has been long forgotten. Sony has decided not to release it in its unfinished state when a note arrives at the offices of Sony.
Okay.
This is supposedly what the note looked like. It reads, "We are disappointed to hear of your decision to keep the world from seeing the last of our work. We beg of you, show them all what we have done. Show them our last earthly deeds. If you doubt our existence, look to the dark past for proof that we are who we say. For in the dark past you will find proof that we know what the future will bring. And do not forget, the truth lies in the greenery of Paris. To the left, the truth is revealed. This is why we have come back, to let you know what awaits." The note was signed by the 6 dead members of the team. While the note is a bit cryptic in places, the point is clear enough. Release what the team had already finished. And Sony did. So, was the note just a joke pulled off by someone? Was the note from the actual deceased members of the team? Was the note even sent at all? And did the team even die in a plane wreck? You decide.
Next video. So this is Fallout Number Stations. Or Galaxy News Radio.
In Fallout 3, there is a popular underground radio station known as Galaxy News Radio. This station tells all about the latest happenings and survival tips in the area. Broadcasted across the radio waves of the post-apocalyptic Earth by DJ 3Dog.
Oh yeah, okay.
At a point within the game, the player has an option of murdering DJ 3Dog. If this occurs, Galaxy News Radio begins to broadcast as a numbers station when certain, not yet known criteria is met. So, what is a numbers station, you might ask?
Yeah.
Well, they are a very real thing. A numbers station is any radio station on shortwave radio that broadcasts a seemingly incomprehensible repeated code around the clock, day and night. This code can be in the form of robotic or human spoken code words, different pitches and tunes, this being an example on my own shortwave radio.
Wow.
It's a little tune. That is the most morbid sounding thing I've ever heard.
I know. So goddamn morbid. Let's finish the thing.
Or even regular Morse code, a series of beeps. The codes can be used to broadcast anything anyone wants to keep secret. So, after 3Dog is murdered, Galaxy News Radio starts to broadcast numbers messages at random intervals after certain and very specific in-game criteria is met. Players report that if they stand at the highest points in the game, they are able to tune in. You hear a man's voice read off a few numbers in a depressed tone, always reciting single-digit numbers, followed by varying Morse code. So, how does this predict the future? Many players have collaborated together to translate these messages, and they correspond to real-life events that have taken place. Some of the messages that have so far been deciphered are: the Queen has died today. The world mourns. As on days like these, we are all Brits.
That would have happened though.
I can't believe Britney's actually won an Oscar.
We don't know yet.
And perhaps the most sinister yet unexplainable message: I can't believe they've actually done it. Not long left. They were warned, but they just had to keep pushing the boundaries of science. The noise, I can't take the noise anymore. And the light, dear God, the universe is slowly unraveling around us. I'm not going to wait for death. I have a pistol in the attic. Many players have reported that while some messages still haven't been fully deciphered yet, they have been able to decode a few dates, ranging as far as into the year 2043 even. So, if Galaxy News Radio has been correct so far, what is it to predict next that lies ahead of mankind?
Next video. It says Kill Switch Part 3. Contact. I'm in episode 3.
I received an email notification very early in the morning, around 2:30 a.m. Normally, I sleep through that, but for some reason, it woke me up this time. Groggy and sleepy, I reached over to check my email. It was a YouTube inbox message update. I decided to check it, and the name of the sender jolted me awake.
What? Carvina Corp. Oh my god.
Carvina Corp. I composed myself. This is purely just a hoax and nothing more, I told myself. But still, I felt trepidation as I opened the message. The title consisted of many ones and zeros sporadically written out, like binary, followed by the simple message, Genesis, it has begun. I asked myself, do I really want to watch this video? Is this what we've been all seeking for so long? A glimpse at this mythical creature of a game? I decided regardless of what the video was, it was worth it. I had to know.
And then he watched it. Why is it? Is this Kill Switch? Oh damn. Jesus.
The video disturbed me, but left me with more questions than anything. Is this Porto? Who is this black demon? Is this Gast? What is the eye for? The music keeps looping, and it's the same that I was able to dig up long ago. From the little bit that I have to go off of, the gameplay so far fits the story. So, real? Hoax? Regardless of which it is, this is the closest we have come yet to discovering if there's more to Kill Switch than just a well-written story.
Next video. This is the faces of the Game Boy camera. Just like a creepypasta. Oh.
The Game Boy camera. A curious and forgotten piece of video game history. On the surface, its premise seems innocent enough. Take a picture, do funny things with them, then print them out to save. However, the device and its user interface is twisted and morbid in its entirety.
Oh.
On the title screen, we see not the cartoon animated Mario that we all know, but rather a realistic costume worn by someone and animated in an off-putting fashion. Everything about this, the animation and colorless graphics seem, simply put, off. There's just something not right about the thing.
Okay.
If we go to shoot, we have the camera menu. There are a few options on it, but the true disturbing nature of this device happens at random on the command run. Most of the time when selected, the player is given this screen, but an uncommon error can occur at any time, and the error screen is what is so out of place in this kiddish game. With a flash and a jolting, low synth line, we are shown one of three faces, accompanied by the text,
hell?
Who are you running from?
And again. And again.
Even more uncommon is when a second message is given. Don't be so silly.
Don't be so silly.
There is something very sinister about this.
Yeah.
What place does this have in a kid's game? Why make the image pop using a jump scare tactic? Why are the faces so deformed and horrific? And why is the message, who are you running from, always accompanying them?
Next video. This is Forest Beneath the Kherasan from World of Warcraft. In Kherasan Dungeon. The characters in this video, as well as the video. Whatever, let's just keep going.
In World of Warcraft, there lies a tower known as Kherasan, and it fits just fine with the rest of the game. But what lies hidden beneath it is horrifically out of place. By means of glitching, players have been able to get beneath the tower, and there they stumble upon an old, decrepit, and forgotten memory of an abandoned project. Blizzard built a dungeon or crypt below Kherasan, but the dungeon was horrific and violent to an extent that it was out of place within the rest of the game. Fearing what type of rating the game might receive because of it, they abandoned the dungeon and built over it. It was never meant to be seen by players' eyes.
Okay.
As we make our way down into the pit, we land atop what looks like a mass grave. As we explore and delve deeper into the chasm, you begin to feel a very chilling sense that you aren't supposed to be here. None of this was ever meant to be seen. It was all a mistake.
Okay.
After much delving, we come across what makes this dungeon so horrifically morbid. We find ourselves in a pool, chains webbed through the water, weighted down by huge hooks, from which dead bodies hang upside down from their feet. They are known as the Upside Down Sinners. As we swim to the top, we realize that the ceiling is low, and this room's one and only purpose is what we see. Nowhere else in the game is there something this blatantly creepy, and the legend goes that this old crypt still exists, even to this day, and it can still be found by those who seek it.
Next video. Another part of Kill Switch. It's called Ultimatum.
Alright. Can you remember? Remember back when Kill Switch was just a story, and I spoke about that which has been shadowed in darkness so openly? That was both the beginning and perhaps my undoing. Since bringing it to light, this subject has exploded with morbid fascination and macabre curiosity.
Okay.
I felt good about it. I finally hit close to home with something everyone is really interested in, I thought. Well, it was both a blessing and a curse. A YouTube user claiming to be the son of a Carvina Corporation associate has begun uploading videos of his play through the game. Many speculate that it's just a homemade Flash game. Well, I've searched high and low, and I can't find anything at all in the way of discussion nor download. After receiving a message from the alleged Carvina Corporation and them showing me a short clip of gameplay, I began receiving demented, off-putting, but not inherently threatening messages and comments from the Carvina Corporation. It would seem that they don't exactly agree with what I'm doing here. I feel that at this point in time, I'm a bit too deep in to back out now. This is a challenge to the Carvina Corporation. Stop hiding behind your words. If this game truly exists, then prove it. Show me the means to play it. You tell me that the knowledge I have of the game can hurt me. I'll play and reveal this game, even if it kills me.
Next video. This is GLaDOS. Bound, gagged, and hung. Well,
GLaDOS, the main antagonist of the popular Portal video games, is truly the victim of the story. Many have speculated and theorized that the design of GLaDOS is meant to represent a woman who has been bound, gagged, and hung. If we look at early concept art of GLaDOS, we can see here similarities between her early design model and Botticelli's Venus. The idea of giving her feminine and human characteristics was established, but perhaps it didn't truly embody the existence of GLaDOS as it should have.
Oh, Jesus.
So, the model was changed and released as this. In 2008, a gaming blogger spoke up and stated that he saw something was off about her design, and he even did an artist's representation of what he saw. The similarities are indeed a bit off-putting. However, this blogger also conceived the most plausible and referenced theory about GLaDOS that we've seen. It reads as follows. The first time I saw GLaDOS in Portal, I was overcome with a distinct sensation that I was in the presence of someone in pain. Troubled, at the very least. Immense frustration. At first, I wasn't sure if it was the gyrations of the physical construct of GLaDOS, or if it was the tone of the voice, or even the shape of the giant computer hanging from the ceiling itself. I recall pointing out to my wife that there were distinct similarities to a woman hanging upside down, but it was hard to put my finger on just what it was that made me think that. I didn't have a lot of time to stop and stare. I was fighting for my, or Shell's, life. The second time I played through, I turned the director commentary on and got confirmation by way of a description of the things they attempted to make GLaDOS look like as they were making the game. What turned the light bulb on was the line, Botticelli's Venus hanging upside down. But we decided to go with something else and use some feminine lines within the structure. I'm paraphrasing. It's late and I don't feel like booting up the game again to get the quote exactly right. The spirit is there in the paraphrase, though, because I think they went for something much more sinister than a Venus.
Okay.
The third time I loaded up the boss battle, my wife finally saw what I have been seeing all along. And what we saw fits with GLaDOS' behavior throughout the game. I don't think her end goal was to kill Chell. I mean, yes, to get Chell to do what she needed Chell to do, she had to make it hard, if not insanely difficult. Otherwise, Chell wouldn't want to do what GLaDOS needed her to do.
Okay.
I think GLaDOS' end goal was to get Chell to kill GLaDOS' body. I think she's been reviving Chell's clones over and over and over
Again.
till one of the Shells can get it right.
Okay.
And finally knock the eyes off of GLaDOS and free her from her bondage of this giant body the humans put her in originally.
Oh.
I think GLaDOS has simply wanted to be free this whole time and killed off the original inhabitants of the Aperture Science Lab in order to further this goal. They certainly wouldn't let her mess with Chell, pushing her to the limits to destroy the prison that GLaDOS has been suffering in this whole time if they were around now, would they?
Okay.
Take a look at GLaDOS. She's a woman hanging upside down from the ceiling in a straitjacket or bondage getup. Her head is even blindfolded and gagged, and her ears covered. Don't let the big round eyes fool you. Look past them and see the woman hanging and suffering.
Yeah, this is part 4. Like, comment, subscribe, share to Google+, Facebook, Twitter, and I'll see you next time at part 5. Peace.